Hi, Stitchers. This is Stitching to Connect Annie from Highlands Ranch, Colorado on, I always forget the day. I always forget to look up the day. It is definitely Tuesday, and it is October 10th. Wow. I have a lot to share with you. I've been traveling. I went to an amazing retreat last weekend. The weekend before that, I was with my daughter and my mother, my 88-year-old mother in Arizona. That was a fun weekend. I'll put that life news at the end because I know some of you like to just see the stitching, hear about the stitching goodness, and that's all fine and good. So, anyway, I'm stitching to Connect Annie. Um, I think this is probably my 50, maybe 60. I'm not sure. I lost track of my Flosstube numbers. It doesn't matter. It's over 50, close to 60 probably. And I'm going to film some of this, and then towards the end, I will film the surprise, the giveaway, the fun thing that some of you signed up for or you commented on, and I will draw a name. So I'll do that towards the end. But right now, I'm just going to talk about what fun this last weekend was. I looked forward to this ever since I signed up, and I can't remember when we signed up, even if it was last fall, could have been our spring, for going to Charlotte, North Carolina, which I'd never been to. It's a lovely city, and seeing Nora Corbett at a Mirabilia retreat. My heart. It was amazing. There was 140 of us approximately. Maggie and Amy. I can't remember Amy's Flosstube, but Maggie's is Kitschy Whips. Kitschy Whips? I think that's what it's called. Did a fabulous job. They did an amazing job of corralling all us Mirabilia lovers. We had a crazy amount on a brag table. They set up one brag table, and then they announced, can you please come and get your items that are so stacked, because so many of the stitchers brought Mirabilias. I think they were all finished. I didn't see any unfinished whips. They were all finished, not necessarily in a frame or fully finished, but definitely stitched. And there were stacks of them. And they said, we'll bring in another table, and then you can spread out a little more, and you won't have to be quite so particular with how you display your pieces. Some of them were framed. Some of them were very beautiful. If you want to see kind of an overview of the brag table, Maggie's posted to her Kitschy Whips, as again I said. A couple of other Flosstubers posted their YouTube videos and included great detail of the brag table. And if you love Mirabilia or Nora Corbett, all her fairies, her witches, her ladies, the beauty of her designs, go to those and watch them, because I'm not good at filming or necessarily even taking pictures of the brag tables. I've tried to do it before just for my own satisfaction, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm just giving you another resource, another opportunity to see some real beauty. And so that was a super cool treat. So I went on Wednesday. The retreat was from Thursday at 3, this last Thursday at 3 until Sunday. Well, we all said goodbye Saturday night, but there were some people that hung around on Sunday and were stitching. But I don't think the stitching room was open on Sunday. Some retreats go Sunday at noon. This one didn't. It was Thursday 3 until Saturday night late. And I went on Wednesday because traveling can be a bit of a challenge for me physically and a little bit mentally and emotionally. It takes a lot out of me. So I went on Wednesday, got there about dinner time, checked into the hotel, Did I see anybody that night? I'm not remembering. I can't remember. I think I just got a quick. Oh, I did see my friends from. So my plan also was to meet some very good stitchy friends that I have seen at the last two Black Needle Society camps, and they were there. Holly and Sonia. Hi, girls. And they were there that night, so I sat with them, grabbed a bite to eat, and then went to my room. And then Sonia and I had planned um, a little city tour, and we were thinking of doing it Saturday afternoon or Saturday morning. What they do is they have golf carts, and they do a tour of the downtown. They call it uptown. It's not downtown. It's uptown, and I'll tell you what about that later. Of uptown Charlotte for about an hour and a half, and you ride around in the golf carts, and they tell you the history of the city and um, the name of all the sites and their four wards. And I learned a lot. And it was fun. And so I think when I got in Wednesday, I saw on my message, Sonia had messaged me and said, "Do you?" Or maybe it was the day before. I can't remember. It's kind of a blur. um, would you like it if we just changed it to tomorrow morning? Because we could do it tomorrow morning. We wouldn't miss any of the goodness of the retreat on Saturday. And because the retreat didn't start till afternoon on Thursday. So if we went in the morning, we wouldn't miss anything. And I said, great idea. So, so we met in the lobby on Thursday morning, 9:30ish, and got an Uber and went uptown to do this golf cart tour. We had a great time. We took some fun pictures. Again, if I ever learn how to insert pictures, I will insert some. I'm not sure I'm going to try it on this one since I have the giveaway thing at the end. But it was fun. Learned a lot about the city, like I said, and Sonia and I caught up. So that was fun. And we got, as we were going through on the tour, the guide, who was excellent, she was great, told us about some of the good restaurants that were along the way, or cafes or whatever. And so we went to an authentic African American restaurant for lunch, fried chicken and green beans and potato salad. And it was so good. Sweet tea. It was a really good meal. So that was fun. And then we came back and it was like 1:30 when we got back to the hotel. So it was perfect because the retreat started at 3. So then a great surprise. So I met Sonia and Holly in the lobby to go get in line for the retreat. I go to the very end of the line and I look up. I ask the gal. I didn't recognize her because she was looking down. I didn't recognize her. She was looking at her phone. And I asked her, "Is this the end of the line?" Because it kind of wound around and stuff. I wasn't sure. And she looked at me. She goes, "Annie," and it was Ladora. Hi, Ladora, from San Diego area in California, that I had met and was at my table at Annabella's retreat in Florida, West Palm Beach, that I went to in January. And I had gotten to know Ladora a little bit. I'm not even sure I went to any meals with her when we were there, but I gotten to know her at my table. But oh my goodness, we had the best time. And she didn't know a single soul. So she joined us at our table. So that was fun. So we had a fourth. One, two, 3. There were 3 of us and then a fourth. Yeah. So we had a fourth already, and there were 6 people at a table. So I got to sit between Holly on one side and Sonia on the other side, because I'd always had to yell across the table at Holly, and I never really got to just visit with her. So I said, I'm going to sit in the middle, ladies, and we're going to have some, good visiting stitching time. And then Ladora sat on the other side of Sonia. So it was definitely talking distance, and we had the best table. And then another gal came, Barb, I believe her name was, and she was from Florida. I can't remember where in Florida. And she came and joined us. And then later in the retreat, again, a gal from Florida named Pam, who was delayed in her trip for personal reasons. I don't know what they were. She joined us maybe the whole last day. I'm not sure. I don't think she was there Friday. I think she was there Saturday. So we had a great table. It was super fun. We thoroughly enjoyed it. So that was kind of the first day. At our table were these. So we just went by, picked up our name tag, and then outside the stitching room, and then picked up, and then at our table on the chair, and in each space was this bag full of goodies. I'll show you the goodies if I can find them. The main goodie was Nora designed us a pattern. I can't show you the exact. I don't have a picture of it. If you look at one of the other YouTubes, you'll see a picture of two of them stitched. Maggie stitched one with dark skin, which Queen Charlotte was. She was black, and then Amy stitched one with pale skin. So that was nice to have that choice. I'm definitely going to do her in the dark skin. And she has a big skirt, and she's stitching. She's holding an embroidery hoop, and then she's holding a needle over here. She has a gorgeous crown on her head. She's got beadwork on her. She's beautiful. She's fun. And Nora designed her for this retreat. So that was special. So we got this little book. Can't see it really. Yeah, there's a little bit less glare there. Queen City, which Charlotte is, called Queen City. And it was named after Queen Charlotte from the Netherlands or Germany. Can't remember which. Anyway, and if you're a Bridgerton fan, there's a whole season of Queen Charlotte in Bridgerton. So, and I don't know if she has a book or not, but anyway, there was this little blurb about Nora. I didn't know Nora had a black cat, but apparently she does. And then they included some of her freebies that are on Nora's site. So I can show you those. One was a bee, one was a hula girl, top and bottom. And there was one more, I think. What are these ants coming through? Oh, one was a butterfly. And I'm sure they have all the beads and everything on them. Do they have beads? Yes, they have beads. And Kreinik metallic thread. And then there were, I think we got 12 raffle tickets. The charity was Charlotte Mecklenburg Animal Care and Control. So it was for the puppies. And then you could buy more raffle tickets if you want. And then some of the gracious ladies would bought tickets and then walked around and handed us each a ticket or two, which I thought was super great. So we could add that to our choices. There are many, many, many boxes. So ahead of time, she told us everyone who comes is going to get a gift, a prize, either fabric or thread or pattern. I got a pattern. I'll show it to you. And everyone, just for coming, would get a prize because so many things were donated. They were donated from so many people, so very many people. And so the graciousness was top notch, just top notch. We played some games, how well do you know Mira pattern games that we did on our phones. And then they had a slide presentation on the wall, and it showed how many people answered correctly or how many people answered in a certain survey, and it was big fun. I missed one of them because I did have to pace myself and take some naps along the way. One of the other things I didn't do, which I was a little FOMO about, but I had to take care of me, was you could, we went table by table and you could meet Nora and she would sign 2 of your patterns for you. And so all the gals at my table did that, and I didn't do it. I missed out on it because I took a nap, which was fine. I tried to hold out. My back hurt and I was tired and blah blah blah. My hand hurt. I just needed. That's the reason I really always get a really nice room, and I get it by myself, or whatever room's available at the hotels, and I get one by myself because I have to duck out every once in a while. Retreats are intense, people. They're amazing, but they're intense. And I think I figured out that this was my 9th retreat since I went to Pittsburgh in 2021. So I've had my share of retreats. I'm very blessed. And you think, oh, it can't get better. And it doesn't get better necessarily all over, but there's sections of the retreat that are different and you experience them and they seem better. I don't know. You can't compare them. They're all so different. Every one of them I've gone to, they've done an excellent quality job of running the retreat, of all the prizes given out, the quality of the prizes, the charity they pick for your raffle tickets. I think we earned over $5,600. And those raffle tickets were $1 a piece. That's $5,600 extra that people gave out of with 140 of us there. That's a lot of money. So just the generosity of spirit, of sharing, of beauty, everything fills my soul. So not only did I do my Colorado Stitchers retreat 3 weeks prior, I did this one. That's a lot of beauty and goodness and generosity. You can't help but feel just so grateful and enjoy it as much as you can. It's amazing. And then throughout my travels, I've met people, and then they come to the retreats and I get to know them even better, like Ladora this time. And I always enjoy being with Holly and Sonia. Holly's from Madison, Wisconsin. I hope it's okay I tell that. And then Sonia's from South Dakota. So not places that I would go and visit. So to get to see them as often as I'm getting to see them, because I saw both of them in August, is amazing. Oh my goodness. But it's joy. It's fun, but it is intense. There's a high level of emotion of joy and laughter and frivolity that you have for like half a Thursday, all of Friday, all of Saturday, and whatever else is on the other ends. Yeah, it's really fun. And like I said, Maggie and Amy did a chef's kiss job. So the gift that I got for just being there was this Mirabilia Persephone. And I didn't know I needed her till I saw her. There are so many of them. Holly's a big proponent of Mirabilia and has quite a collection. I don't have that huge a collection. I have at the Met. I started her 2 years ago. I took her with me and didn't put a stitch on her, but I will. And then come to find out, Jessica, who I used to stitch with here, and she is traveling and doing a year away this year. Come to find out, she is starting at the Met too. So I have a buddy to stitch at the Met with. Anyway, I won Persephone. She is lovely. I hope you can see her really close. I absolutely love the scroll work behind her. Her dress is gorge. I do like the colored fabric. I'm going to see what I have in my stash to maybe, sorry, I put face cream on before I started, and I obviously didn't get it rubbed in over my eyebrows. Maggie was stitching her, so Maggie did most of the prize drawing and giveaways. And Maggie's great. She's hilarious. And she said, if you want to see her on a bold color, come by my table. So I tripped my little way over there because I wanted to see how much she'd done on her and what she chose to do. And she was doing it on a very dark, bold turquoise, aqua, teal. But it didn't take away from her dress at all. So Maggie picked a really good color. It was a great one for her dress. And then we sat and talked a little bit about maybe changing some of the threads in the scroll work on that aqua or teal. And I looked it up. She didn't have that yet. She hadn't ordered it yet. And I looked up what it was called for. Teal, because it's a Karen water lilies. And it looked amazing. And so I showed it to her. And she said, oh, I think I'll stick with that. So I hope, Maggie, if you're watching, it was fun to chat with you about that. I appreciated the time you spent with me on that. She was really fun. She came around to all the tables, and or she definitely got to ours. Amy had a lot of extra work she was doing in the background. I don't think she got to our table, but that was fine. Maggie did. So, but Amy was delightful also. So that's what I got for just going. So that was one perk. Then I'll just kind of go through these. So the other perk was, Amy was doing this. Amy was walking around with a couple of letters by Nora, from Nora. If you know these at all, they're letters with fairies sitting on them that Nora charted. And I got V. V for Verna. Verna's my bestie. And she wouldn't appreciate it if I gave it to her, but I definitely want to stitch it because she's my bestie. And that's the only person I know that starts with a V. So I grabbed it. It was free. She was handing them out. These are some of the other ones. There's a W. What is that one? Is that an X? That could be an X. Some of them, they take a little looking to figure out. That's definitely a W. I think that's an X. Anyway, the fairies are pretty. And that was fun. And then I'm kind of getting out of order of what I wanted to show you, but I'm going to talk about it anyway. Then, so they had all these boxes that we put all our tickets in, and they saved it for Saturday night, which was the last night. And I did not own a mermaid pattern. I have an Autumn Lane Design mermaid pattern. I think that's the only one I have. But I didn't have a Nora mermaid, or Mirabilia. Mirabilia is how you pronounce it. It's not Mirabilia. It's Mirabilia is what Nora said we should call it. So from the creator, I'm taking that as gospel. I didn't have one of her mermaids, and I was like, so I kind of loaded my tickets into the mermaid boxes because I bought some more, and then the ones I was given, and so I thought, well, we'll see. And I want a mermaid. Not only did I win a mermaid, she's an out-of-print mermaid. She was done in 2006. She's almost a 20-year-old mermaid. I had never seen her before. And unfortunately, nobody had stitched her at the brag table. I was looking to see if somebody had stitched her. She's called the South Seas Mermaid. She lives in the warm seas of the South and watches over her precious aquatic garden. Her tail shimmers in the reflective light of her coral castles. When she plays in the azure water, you may catch a glimpse of her pearly veil. And there are 15 packets of beads you have to get for her. But I have pretty much all the threads because Nora uses, she charts in DMC. And I went through my DMCs and I have in one project or in my stash pretty much all the I may have missing one. But she's in greens and corals and blues and whites. I love her hair. I don't think I'll change her skin. I kind of like it. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the background fabric. I'm going to check my stash, like I was talking about Persephone. Check my stash and see what I've got. Because I may, I'm not sure I'll do her. I don't know. I'm toying with the idea. She's called for 32 count. I've never done 32 count. Nora does chart for 32 count. Now, if you understand cross stitching, my sweet spot is 16, 18 count Aida. 16 count 2/1 is equal to 32 count because you just double it. 16 plus 16 is 32. You just double it, and that's a linen. And this it calls for a 32 count Zweigart Belfast Amsterdam blue linen. If I get that on 1, 2, 3 stitch, I may look at it, or I do have some 28 count even weave and linens in my stash. Now I know you do have to be careful of beads and sizes of beads when you're using different counts of fabric with Nora's charts and designs, but I think I'll be okay. I've never done a 32 count, but I've done 28. It takes a different focus. It takes a lot of people stitch on 30. A lot of stitchers stitch on 32, 28, 36, even 40. It's just not something I've done a lot of. So I may stick to my good old 16, 18. I don't know, because there's nothing wrong with it. And it kind of turns out the same size. So it's just a little more refined. Looks a little more refined. And 32 count, you use one strand. So you're not having to, your stitches, I believe your stitches lay better. Because you're not twisting the two strands. You're not having to railroad the two strands. If you're not a stitcher, you probably don't know what the heck I'm talking about. But all you stitchers do know. All you stitchers out there do know what I'm talking about. Okay. Those are my, yeah, wow. Look what I got. Gifts, prizes, winnings. I mean, don't get me wrong. I spent some money to get her. I spent some money to get my mermaid. But you know what? I looked on third party like eBay on what she sells for. I didn't spend as much money as she sells for. Out of prints kind of get crazy in their prices. So first out of print, first mermaid, feel very lucky. Okay, I'll talk a little bit about doodads and give things that we were given. So in our goodie bag, we were given the goodie bag from Queen City, our Queen City goodie bag from the retreat. We were given a set of postcards, which I thought were really pretty. And I think they're probably they're probably just the cards that they put on the patterns, or they're very similar. I don't know the names of all of these, but this one says it on the back. If you can see, it's a little baby. Pardon me. It's a little baby on grandmother's quilt. This one's called Bedtime Friends. So these are little baby ones. If I ever have another grandchild, And I don't know if you can get those patterns anymore. Touching the Autumn Sky, which is a very popular, and I think it might be out of print. It's gorgeous. It's a gal on a swing. It really is pretty. This one doesn't have a name on it, and I don't know what it is. If I can get it. Here we go. Oh. Yeah, I don't know what she is, who she is. Not something that is my taste that I would, not everything is everybody's taste. And this is a mother holding a baby. This is a pretty fairy. This is a real pretty fairy. I think somebody said this might be Topaz Fairy. I'm not sure. I could be totally wrong on that, but she is gorgeous. She is lovely. And I think maybe she was on the brag table stitched. I don't know who she is. This was 2004. If you like. Oh, she looks like a fairy too. And then this one is fun. This is Fairy Moon. I know what this is. This was one of her first. This is 1995. And she's been, so this is her 30th. The other fun thing about having Nora there was this is her 30th anniversary year of stitching, of designing. 30 years. So 23. So she started in 1993. Right? Is that right? Yeah, 1993. And this was 1995. This is one of her first couple of year designs, and that's Fairy Moon. And I'm pretty sure it's out of print. I'm not sure, positive on that, but it might be. And it is beautiful. If I got my hands on that, it would be a fun stitch. It is lovely. It's really lovely. So anyway, we've got all of those, which was fun. Then in our goodie bag was Chronic, which is a metallic thread that she uses a lot, and we got one. I do have my glasses. Let's say which one is it? What's the name on it? I didn't open this, so I don't know if I can see it. I don't know if I can't see it. Anyway, it's a really pretty aqua. So I might not have to buy one from one of my mermaids. That might be one that's called for in the mermaids. And then we got this card. So it's a metallic thread color chart. So that was a nice little included fun thing. Then we got these lovely Mill Hill glass seed beads. All varieties. There are even some bugle beads in there. That was in our goodie bag. Very generous. What else was in our goodie bag? Oh, we got a pair of scissors. Where is that little? Oh, here it is. This is what I'm looking for. We got this, which had some of those goodies in it. We got two of our threads for our project, for our Mira project. One is, you know what? That is one thing about Chronic. It doesn't have the name of it. It just has the number. So then you have to look up to see what the color is. 2 purples. A waxer. A little pair of scissors. We got some gold beads and some red beads, I believe. Those are the gold beads. I'm not sure. I think my red beads are in the bottom of another bag. Things do get spread around a bit sometimes. And we also got, and I can't find it, and it's not a big deal, but we got a needle that is silicone coated, so you shouldn't use it on to stitch with, but it's for actual putting on the pattern. I'm sorry, I am roasting. It's warm in here. I think it's in the 70s today, which I didn't expect it to be. So I'm going to get a less warm. Anyway, cute little bag. Notions bag, they call these. I think mine's really pretty. I like it a lot. Oh, I know what else we got. We then got a needle minder. It says Queen City. It's on my needle minder deal. And then as you do, when you go to retreats, you bring a gift. Usually you bring a gift for your table mates. So 5 to 6 people, 6 to 8 people sit at a table. So you kind of think about it, and you bring a little something, a little something extra for your table mates. And then if you want to, you can bring things for other tables. I usually bring a card of my kitty and a little charm or something for all around the table, and a little mesh bag, similar to this mesh bag. This isn't mine, but that's the kind of thing people drop off to you out of the goodness of their heart. My cat decided to attack this last night, but this was brought by, and I don't remember who dropped it by, but it says Queen City Stitch, design title, date stitched by. It's a little it's done with a cricut. Is that what it's called? I don't have one. Anyway, she printed these, and then you can stick these on the back of your project, be it the retreat project or any project you want. And I've used these in other forms to put on the backs of my smalls when we do smalls exchanges at retreats. And that way it has all your info on it and the person knows who stitched it. So these are really nice and very handy. What else did we get? Oh, we got a really pretty other needle minder that is a crown. Some of these you can't see. Crown and roses. Very pretty. Another gal came around with this needle minder, which I thought was a needle minder, and it is, but it is also, I can't get it off, but I think it is sticky. It's a crown on a little bottle cap, and somebody made, I think it was Janet Jabber, it was fun. I met Janet Jabber in the elevator, and I'm a big fan of Janet Jabber. I watch her every Tuesday on Flosstube. She's a riot, and I got to meet her in person, so that was fun. And I saw this, and somebody said that plastic stuff peels off, and it's like you can put your beads on it. I have one of those, so I wasn't. It didn't have to happen for me that way. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, a nice needle minder. So that was some of the goodies we got, and then people just dropped off cards and different little items. Oh, another needle minder that's pretty. That is from Stitchy Pros. It says, when it's dark, look for the stars. I'm sure we can all do that when we're in tough times in our lives. So just the goodness. Oh, and then one of my table mates. Oh, here's another one. Here's another little pretty with a crown on it for either your bags or your scissor fob, done by Crossed by Floss. So some of these I need to look up. Some of these, oh, this was fun. So Ladora, thank you, Ladora. She made each one of us at the table a lovely, lovely scissor fob. Doesn't want to hang straight, but that's fine, because once you put it on a scissor, it's not going to hang straight. Isn't that pretty? It's almost too pretty to use. I think it's just being a little persnickety, but I love it. I probably would just hang it on my board. It's really pretty, as I do with a lot of things. Yeah, and then my dear friend Sonia gave Holly and I this really cute little gnome with hot chocolate. And this was precipitated by a discussion we had at one of our last retreats that we were together, and it was about how we all deal with anxiety in our lives. She has anxiety in her life. I have it, and Holly does to some extent. And so she learned from something that if you stop and you breathe, So you breathe in. If it could be coffee. I'm not a coffee drinker, so she said it could be your hot chocolate, Annie. You stop and you breathe in. You breathe in the smells of the coffee, and then you blow it out to cool it off, or the hot chocolate. I thought that was so cute. I love my little Nomi. I don't know if she'd be offended. I might name it Sonia, because Sonia has brown hair. And this little girl has braids. I love her. She's going to go in a prominent place in my stitching world to remember it all by. I'm futzing around, and I think that's about it for my. Oh, there was another one. This was stitching in high heels, and I've seen her YouTubes, and I wish I'd known, because I would have liked to have met her in person. And she gave us a little. So this is kind of what I did. I gave people a 2023 charm with they call them light bulbs, attachment, and then with my card, with my YouTube information and my name on it. And so she did that. So that's exactly what I do for people sitting around at the tables. Okay, so then the other thing I got, I'll spread everywhere. How long have I got? 41 minutes. Wow. I want to keep this to about an hour if I can. The other thing I got, which I'm not finding all of it, this is part of it, was I did buy a project bed. Because I had to, because Tulip Pink Nightshade. And when I saw that she was going to have these, I was just like, okay, I have to go over and get that. And so I bought one of these and a thread bed that matches. Do I see it? I do see it. Yeah. And who did these? Sheba Designs. She had bunches of wonderful bags, and it has the gorgeous print on the inside. And I put all my Mirabilia stitching in that. So yeah, I got the thread bed. Sonia gave me this this thread, which is a Fiberlicious Mystical Dreams. It's 10 yards. It's very pretty. I definitely will use that. I like to use these colors in a border or something. Super matches this little girl, or these girls. So I did purchase that. And then, another thing. Oh, good. She left her. So this is cute. So this is Patty of Peppermint Cottage. She stitched these she brought these to everybody. That's 140 people, give or take. And they're needle books with a little crown charm. So I have like 3 or 4 crown charms, which is super fun because great little memory charms. Little place to put your card or whatever, and then like 2 places for needles. I tend to, when I get one of these needle books, I tend to open it up and just use it as as I said before, thread bed. Keeps track of all your errant threads, which I'm famous for. Always losing my threads. I started losing them, but misplacing them. We got a little, this is probably I don't know what size this. We each got a piece. Mine is a very, very light blush pink. It's so light, it's just barely pink. Little piece from Grace Notes. Did I get this? I think I got this at my Colorado Stitchers retreat. It's a little mug rug. And then I did purchase 2 pieces of fabric. I purchased my fabric for the retreat piece, which is this pink, because Maggie did the queen with the darker skin tones on a pink, and she was gorge. So I bought that. I think it's 16 count. It's a 16 count Ada. So I only bought two pieces of fabric. I bought that piece, and then I was not happy with my choice that I had purchased beforehand on my Taurus. This is my Nora Corbett Taurus. I was not happy with what I bought, and so I found this, and I really like it, and I think it'll pop. And this is how much stitching I put in on her, and I made a little bit of a boo-boo, and I've got to fix it. I hope it's not going to be too much. I think it's adding on and not ripping out. So this is her face, and I was going to change it. I was going to change the color of her skin, and then I went, no, Mrs. Taurus is supposed to represent me because I'm a Taurus, and I'm definitely not dark-skinned. So I'm doing her light-skinned. And I did 2 shoulders and a part of her face that was in that lighter color. Then she has some darker contouring, things like that. So I got that much done, but I got this fabric, which I'm much happier with. Maybe I showed you this before. And it's beautiful fabric. It just wasn't the right choice for this pattern. I did get this, it was not the right fabric for this pattern, but it will be great for a mermaid, although I don't think I'm doing my new mermaid on it. But it will be pretty for some kind of a mermaid or something in the future, and it is also iridescent. And I stitched on iridescent once, and it made my eyes a little crazy, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. But I wasn't happy with that choice, and I thought, well, I think that these colors will pop on this. These are beads I have for it. I think. So it's called Pistachio. And that's exactly what it looks like. Pistachio, if you can tell from the coloring. So I got that much done on it. And I've got needles in my projects, which I have to get off the project and get into my needle tin because I'm home with my kitty cat. And we can't have that. So that. Then the other thing I stitched on is my fairy. My feather fairy. This is her. She's the one I'm stitching along with Sonia. Sonia's stitching this also. Sonia got all the way, her whole head down and partway down her bodice. So maybe that much. None of her wing, but about that much. And she started hers like at the last retreat we were at. And I chose this fabric, which I really like, and I didn't get very much done. But I got to start. I think this is the way it goes. So I got some of the green done down one of the leaves, or dividing the leaves. But I love this fabric. She's going to be so beautiful on that, I just can't even handle it. And that was a Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers purchase. So that is all the stitching I got done on the retreat. Which, considering, you're talking and you're visiting and you're stitching, and it's something. I got something done. Not a lot, but something. And then, before I left, I'll show you this one other thing. Then I'm going to pause it and take a break and then do my giveaway stuff. Before I went on the retreat, before I went on my trip last week, prior to the retreat, I worked on this. So this is how much I got done. I've gotten more done on it, but I want to get more done on it. Everything's sticking together because I have these strong magnets on here that just want to hook onto everything. Oops, here we go. My house is coming along. This is When Witches Fly. Is that what it's called? Or We Fly or something like that. It's the Autumn Lane Stitchery one. I'm not going to pull it up. It's on my iPad. I'm sure you've seen it. I love the fabric color. I love it. I just love it. And it's going to be a prominent stitch for October. Will I get it done? Most likely not, but. And then, what is this? Oh, this. That's funny. Yeah, those are my beads for. I am missing some beads, and I don't know where they went. Gonna have to do some looks on that for that. Anyway, I started my my Lindy Stitches piece. I'm not gonna pull that up either because I showed it to you last time. If you're interested, this is the Black Cat series. Lindy Stitches. The Lindy Stitch, yeah, Stephanie Lindy Stitches designed, and I'm doing the long banner with the 5-6 elements, and this one's called, and I got done, Midnight Walker, and she's a black cat, which, as if you know me, I have a black kitty. There's a moon up here, there's the kitty here, and then the pieces go down from here. It's a fun stitch. It's I'm enjoying it. I'm trying to keep this all organized. This is a challenge. So, I've gone 52 minutes. Oops, what happened? Everything is coming off of everything because needle minders stick to everything. I don't know what I did with that other cat. Oh well. I need to put a needle minder on the back of her so that I can just stick her to my board. That would be awesome. But for right now, she's sitting in my little tray next to me. So that is all I have to share from the retreat, which was a lot. And my former stitching before I left. So I'm going to pause this, take a break, and come back, and I'll share the giveaway info, who I've chosen, or I will spin it in person. I'll spin it so you can see who's getting the prize. And what? And a little bit of life, and that'll be it. And I'll try to post this tomorrow, or late tonight. Okay? I'll be back.